So I was talking to ChatGPT, trying to figure out how I can let you in on a little bit more about me and just why I am the way I am. So, upon talking to ChatGPT, it told me a lot of stuff that like really touched me, like, and it kind of evaluated what I was saying, and to a point where it made me emotional. Well, I'm already emotional any damn way, but it was just eye-opening and very much touching. And I suggest you do the same thing. It may or may not work for you. I don't know, but it did something for me. So what I got out of it was it was almost like talking to a friend. It was almost like talking to somebody who could relate to me and what I was saying. Although ChatGPT is not a person, but it sure felt good to be able to speak all the things that was on my mind at the time. So the whole time I'm trying to figure out what I can use as content. I got actually so much to use for content through just things that I've been through in story times, but I don't really know how to tell a story time. So that's why I went to ChatGPT. And if you don't know how to tell a story time and you really got a story to tell, may I suggest that you try what I tried, which was go to ChatGPT. So then I started thinking about how I was making the little AI images. And how I could incorporate that into my video. If I wanted to take the time to be creative, which I actually do love to take the time to be creative. So now I'm all on Gemini trying to create little images that help the flow of my story times, just to help me along the way, and maybe it might help me be able to express myself a little bit better and just get out all the things that I actually really wanted to say to somebody and just never have expressed. But I'm letting it go. I'm letting it go. My birthday is on the 15th. I will be a 48-year-old. And I feel like I'm still so immature. Like, what is maturity? Whatever that is, I don't think I've reached that yet. Well, what I feel like the page that I feel like I should be on by 48. Like, I never thought, first of all, I never thought none of this was going to be going on at this particular age. But then again, I never was really thinking about what I was going to be doing at 48, which is probably one of my issues. Because if I had planned better, hopefully you have planned better than me. Because I didn't plan at all. I just been drawing pictures and blowing smoke. So, I'm ready to tell my story. So as I was talking to the GPT, I wanted to know, like, who is my audience, you know? And it basically told me that my audience are also introverts who I'm trying to encourage to open up, to come out, to be themselves. Wait a minute, that's not exactly what it was. Let me find it. Oh, and in the mix, what? So, what ChatGPT did was section off the conversation that I was having into pieces where I could probably make separate story times. And I'm not going to stop myself from doing it. This time I'm just go ahead and do it. Okay. So you ain't never lied. Okay, I told this one story about how I had a stillbirth and I lost the baby. Look, this is some of the things that I just wanted to get out. Okay. I didn't know how I was going to get it out, but I knew I was going to get it out. So we might as well call it a story time and get it out. Okay. So the guy I was pregnant by, my boyfriend at the time, was abusive. He used to drink on the weekends. First of all, I always liked big guys. That's always been a thing for me, was a bigger guy. And most of the time, my guys were security officers, bouncers, police officers, correctional officers. That's usually the route. And the reason really is because it was really just the size. Hold the line. Yes, I do got this trash over here. I don't even know where the top of my... A whole bunch of mess over here. Well, I had a stillbirth, and I don't know if I went through something, and her dad was a girl. Okay, start that over. So I did want to talk about the time I was in an abusive relationship, and I talked to ChatGPT about it, and ChatGPT told me that what you lived through was real abuse and real injustice. You weren't overreacting. You weren't dramatic. You weren't making something out of nothing. You were being spoken to like you were nothing, physically abused, emotionally torn down, and then dismissed by people who were supposed to protect you. The moment the police found out that he wanted to join the police department, they let him go. Now, first of all, they said they was going to take him It was like, oh, you know, he was all in handcuffs and everything. It was ready to take him off. And he told them that he had an application in for the police department. And they took the handcuffs off of him and let him go. So that just let me know that if we were still together and he was whipping my ass, you call the police on the police, but that's his homeboy. The police don't protect the police don't police the police. Well, they sure didn't for me that time. So I needed to leave that relationship. So what I did was pray. I prayed while I was pregnant. And I don't know if it was actually my fault or I was feeling like I kind of manifested my baby not being here. But what happened was I asked God to take him out of my life. And when I asked God to remove him from my life, I wasn't specific enough in my prayer to say that I didn't want to lose the baby. I just said that I didn't want him in my life anymore. And maybe that was just God's way of saving me, was taking him and the baby out of my life. Was my baby. Maybe that was just God's way of granting my wish in a way. I prayed so hard for God to remove him out of my life, but I wasn't specific enough in the prayer to say that I didn't want to lose the baby. So what happened was God took the baby, because this would have been this man's first daughter. And being as though it's his first daughter, he would have been in her life forever, which means he would have been in my life essentially forever. So I was sad about the baby, but I also kind of saw it as a blessing, because God knew that that just wasn't the right situation for me. I know I didn't say that right. But what is the right way to say that? I could have said that in a better way. So yeah. There are probably a million ways I could have said that better. But I'll try next time. That's what they call it. My daughter, Sarai. My daughter came after the stillbirth. I really wanted a daughter real bad. And I just didn't want to be with him. So I had my daughter by somebody who was loving me. Somebody who would never hurt me in that way. Look, I knew he had the application in at the police department. But what I didn't know is that if he just said that to them, that was going to just make them pretty much, be on his side and not on my side. And it just made me think about the females who are married to police officers. Who are being abused and choose to be quiet. Well, that's my domestic violence story that I wanted to get off my chest. I was being abused by this nigga who was drinking, who only act like that when he was drinking. So, other than that, he was kind of sweet. But nonetheless, I'm glad, God delivered me from that situation, because I wasn't going to make it. Or he wasn't going to make it. One of us wasn't going to make it. Is there a scared person to kill you? That ain't no joke. I don't know how to explain that I was sad about the baby, but I still felt like it was a blessing in that. I don't know how to explain that, but God did that. God wasn't doing that to me. God was doing that for me. I believe that. So, you don't know how hard it is for me to sit here and try to get these stories out. So that's the first one I'm trying to spit out. And I don't know how much editing I'm going to do, because that's one of the things that stops me from being able to post and get my things out, because I be trying to edit, I be overthinking, and I'm just not doing that. So I know this story is chopped and screwed, but if you have it in you to, pick through, like the crab, pick through and eat the meat and spit out the shells, then there you have it. And maybe I'll do the next one better. But I'm glad you were here. I'm glad you watched it. And yeah, I have another story to tell. I might even come back and redo that story and make it better once I'm able to actually make it better. But right now, I think I'm just go ahead and post it like it is. Because I'm kind of over the fear of being judged. I kind of feel like this is my space, right? This is where I get to do whatever I want to on this platform. And I did it.